Okay, so if you've not watched the last couple of episodes, now's a very good time to get caught up because spoilers immediately incoming. We've got the Premier League, we've got the FA Cup. All that stands between York and a famous treble is rather appropriately, actually, Manchester United. Can we get the treble? About to find out. So, no build up to this one. There was nothing interesting that happened in the week in between anyway, other than the amusing moment when Alois Silva decided to come to me and asked to go out on loan with one game remaining of this season. I suppose he's Brazilian and their season's still going, but yeah, that was bizarre. He is one of the people I think may take on citizenship at the end of the year though, so stay with me please. Stay, you're free, you're basically a free registration thing. Yeah, so no build up, but I will just sort of talk about Manchester United the way I talked about Chelsea last time out. Because Man United have had a comparatively bad year as well. You can see, media prediction first, they finished 5th. And it's the first time they finished outside the Champions League spots in the league for over half a decade at this point. 6 years, I think they've been in the top 4 in a row now. They even won it a few years ago. They've been second the last 2 years. And on the face of things, it's not immediately obvious where they've gone wrong. They've got all the right players in the right places. And you look at their squad, there's no positions that are weak, really, in terms of numbers. And it took me a while to work out possibly what the problem was. Until I looked at one particular column. And if you don't have this column, by the way, on your general view, make sure you always have appearances on there. Because, particularly when it comes to January and the end of the season, you can see who hasn't been playing for them and maybe poach certain players as a result. Mariba's not been playing. I have seen him better than that, in fairness. Alright, just going to give him a scout, thank you. But on the screen right now, I have highlighted the only 8 players who have played more than 40 games from the start. That they've started 40 games or more. And bear in mind that Man United, of course, have been in all competitions. This is the Champions League finals. So they've gone all the way in this one as well. These are the only 8 players who have started 40 games or more. And I think this may have been their problem. I don't know what's happened to them over the course of the year. There's obviously 2 people with injuries right now. There's 2 coming back from injuries right now. But weirdly, those players have actually been playing most of the time anyway. So It does, to me, at the very least, indicate there's been at least three positions where they've had an issue. And considering 3 of the people that actually have 40 starts are listed as centre-backs, first and foremost, I'm just going to have a look at Gabriel. What is his main position? He's a midfielder, first and foremost. So that at least clears that one up. But it does indicate to me, at least, that there are 3 positions that they've either rotated heavily or had massive issues injury-wise. I'm pretty certain Billy Clark was out at one point this year, just because of England duty memory. And in fairness, quite a lot of the players on sort of mid-20s have bench appearances that take them to 40 or thereabouts. So I'm not 100% certain what's going on with Man United, and I don't know why they finished 5th, but I think they may have had certain player issues just in terms of having all their players available at all the times. But the main thing for this match right now is there are 3 big red ones. Carlos Augusto, suspended. We saw that one when we saw how the Barcelona-Man United match played out. Obviously, they won 2-1, but they did have a sending off despite that. Brian Irving, the right back, problem for England duty, is injured. He's weirdly not first choice for England yet. Trent is still first choice for England. Trent is still better than this at 33. Gabriel's injured as well. Of course, he's started 40 games. You've seen that there. 2 other injuries, Duque and Venturelli, although Duque seems to be pulled thigh. He might be there. Venturelli seems to be okay as well, actually. Food poisoning. He might be there. I don't really know. Of course, in terms of our history, we actually have the edge on Man United in our history, which is kind of surprising. Manchester United have only won 4 of our meetings in the past, and when you can see their list of issues there. We have none, by the way. We have no issues. And what I'm actually going to play is this. Christian will be in goal. Castillo, Azarta, Rick, and Fiore on that back line with Vidarson and Seri in the middle. Ramirez and Cantoro on the wings, inside forwards, of course. Godoy and Carpentier will be up front. Carpentier versus Gonzalez is do you go for the player who's scored more, has been better over the course of the year, but is preferred left-hand side, or do you go for the player who's arguably been worse over the course of the year, but prefers to be on the right-hand side? Godoy is a certain, obviously. Godoy's certain. What I particularly love about Vidal is his average has been consistently going down over the last 5 games. It's now at 6.42. Season-wise, still a 7. But realistically, I can't be playing a player like that right now. I think this is what we go with. By the way, it's not a complete change. Instruction-wise, it's just the version that has Vidal there. I've just obviously moved the position. So they are risking Duque in the end. Sybil's have Frank Clark on the inside, Mabry, and this guy who I don't even remember seeing on that list. He's made 7 appearances, 21 years old. I think he may have joined in January, but 7 appearances even so. isn't a lot. Gabriel is out, of course, so that's probably what's happened there. But why wouldn't you play Mariba? Are they really saying that new guy they've signed is better than Mariba? All right, left back and right back, we knew were going to be problematic because they've got injuries on both. Well, the suspension on one side and injury on the other. Russo, defensively quite good. If it wasn't for the heading, I'd argue he's more of an actual centre-back. He's described as a centre-back, actually, even though his page pops on immediately at right back. Yeah, if it wasn't for the heading, he would definitely be a centre-back. And Tierney on the left is just fantastic mentally, technically, just physically. He's 34, basically. I do find it curious they aren't going to risk Duque rather than just playing Aketsi on that right side, who is actually right-sided, so... It does concern me one of my players didn't react at all to that, and it's Fiore, who has been... Well, Fiore was largely rubbish in the first half of the season, and then second half, been quite brilliant. But he does have his moments. A bit like Cantoro, really. He's very hot or cold at times. 25 minutes of this game have gone by, and nothing has happened. Well, I thought I wouldn't bring you the build-up this time around, because obviously I've got to talk about my team after the game. Do the whole season roundup. Fiore's been injured. That's too much. Well, it's nearly half-time. We'll just get to half-time. I mean, fascinating game. I mean, do I put on more highlights for the second half just to get some highlights? So I'm all just running through the analysis, seeing if I can change anything. I don't think I'm going to change the highlights, but I'm going to try and work something out here because the fact that nothing has happened in this first half it does indicate it's been very contained. And I'm just looking at that line there of their essentially 7 players, both their 3 midfielders, the 2 fullbacks and the 2 wide players, basically average position-wise in exactly the same line. Whereas ours, you can see, is very much more... It's always ended up 4-4-2. So what I'm thinking, actually, here is something I don't normally do, is I think we need to go over them. I think we definitely need to unfocus to the middle as well, because that seems to be quite problematic. I think we need to pass over them a bit more. I'm actually going to say be more expressive as well. Oh, I've made one mistake there. I forgot to change Fiore before I did the team talk. Right, so second half. We've made a few tweaks. It's curious, because... Obviously, the formation here says 4-1-4-1 DNY. We're getting a highlight. Like, it shows you their formation properly as being that. But when you look at their average positions, it's way more like a line of 5. And actually, this is a highlight for them. We're in 2D. This is the Champions League final. Christian picks up this loose ball, just hops, throws it out wide to Castillo, dinks it forward to Ramirez. It's back to Vidalson, who has dumped it over the back line, and no one is there to chase it. Good work. Rogerio, though, gives it to Cesar. This not a mistake. And actually, maybe it is a highlight for Man United after all. And yet, I think Sibbald may have got past. We may have played him on. What's happened there? No penalty. No, good, right. Xiaonan finds Carpentier. We're getting highlights now. I'm not sure if this is entirely because of... I'm fed up of that, to be honest. I'm absolutely fed up of seeing that. As it just ricochets. If it's ended up in a goal, for Christ's sake. Because the cross bounced off their defender, went straight to the opponent. I'm fed up of seeing that in the game. Can we make it so the ball doesn't always go to a player? It seems to be coded in the game. I don't know if it's just a way for the game to keep going. The risk on Carpentier seems to have not paid off. You know what? Complete attack as well, rather than we'll go attacking too. You know what? I will bring the passing directness slightly down again. But it's trying to play through that midfield. What was it? What? Oh, it's sportingly returned the ball. Apparently, I was very confused why he threw the ball like that. Where are our players? What's happened here? I mean, it's a good save in the end. I think that's going to be the highlight. Castillo is now injured on the left-hand side. Kovalev's coming on. Doesn't really allow me any opportunity to alter the formation because of injuries. Kovalev. I mean, if we need to take this in 90 minutes, that'd be great. Right, so it's gone back to Christian. Worried me immensely there. Being pressed down. Ramirez, though, on the ball. Ramirez, he's got a player in the box if he wants to use him. Gonzalez will gather the ball. I think it's going to be the save, though. That's the main part of this. Xiaonan, opportunity. Hometown hero. I say hometown hero. Legend of the club. Okay, well, we had no highlights in the first 50 minutes, and we've had about 30 since then. Gonzalez has found some space. Gonzalez! Come on! Should have started you. I'm so sorry. I should have started you. 90th minute equaliser. A lot of our players seem to be booked as well. Admittedly, a lot of our opposition instructions do say tackle him hard, so that might be part of the problem. I realise that might be the issue. Why we always seem to pick up cards is obviously we're being told to tackle their wingers usually hard by my assistant, and that's why I think the fullbacks get booked all the time. 1-1, 90th minute. They brought on Mariba for Mabry, curiously. Right, assertively, dig in. Eagle-eye viewers may notice I did put Callum Nassel on the bench, just because, I mean, who wouldn't? Between you and me, who would not put someone like that on the bench? It's his last game for the club. is going to leave on a free at the end of the year. If we were in a commanding position here, if we destroy them like we did Manchester City or Barcelona, if we're in a position of strength like then, who would not bring on Callum Lascelles to get a Champions League medal at the end of all this? I've paused it to do this. I mean, one thing that will happen is Yurchenko will come on. If this looks like it's going to go to penalties, Yurchenko will come on, of course. 19 penalty taking. I'm not going to make the fourth change straight away. The midfield are obviously absolutely bloody knackered. Everyone's booked. And we go to the second half. You know what I'm going to do as well? They've not changed their right back. Focus down that left-hand side. And we're going to go more direct again. Just pump it down that left-hand side and outrun that guy, basically, is the plan here. Cantoro pings this one in. Vidarsson's there at the back. Oh my God, hang on. Godoy's got the goal. Godoy's got the goal somehow. It's hit him. I'm very glad that Godoy's got a goal here because, frankly, he deserves it for the season he's had. I'm not quite sure what happens here. Oh, he's actually headed it in. I'm sorry, I need to watch that a third time. I need to watch that in a third time and slower. I'm not sure if I've actually slowed down the highlight, but we have. That's good. So it's headed out. Vidarsson smashes it. I think Seri slides in somehow and it hits Seri and then ends up on Godoy's head. It's the most confusing goal I've seen, and I've seen some very confusing goals in this game. Right, it's not done yet though. I mean, that's the thing though. Do you now change one of the tyre players in the middle? Time wasted down. Slow it right down as well. 10 minutes to go. Do you make a change that will hopefully solidify the 2-1, or do you bank on the game screwing you and bring on Yurchenko? Bear in mind Cantoro is basically dead as well anyway, so midfield, Yurchenko's coming on anyway. I think he's barely any more fit than the midfielders, so Yurchenko doesn't get this ball. Russo, sorry. Yurchenko's just on the wrong side of the pitch there. It confused me. I thought they're attacking me now. I'm talking so fast. Tull's got past someone. Xiaonan. Christian, great save. I don't know words. Also, this was, of course, one of the reasons why I didn't do a build-up as well, because extra time was always a possibility. They are very attacking. We're positive. What are we doing? Why have we not got more defensive? What's happened here? What are we doing? Why have we stopped? We're champions. I think my brain stopped working. Well, at half-time, I was concerned this was going to be boring. There we are. There's the lads. There's me in my blue trousers. Was walking around the pitch in France. I've gone without a jacket. It's 13 degrees according to the match preview. I always love the fact that confetti is incredibly neat and square. That would never happen. Talk about a game that focuses on realism. What about these straight edges of the confetti? Come on now. Tell you what though, makers of red confetti were looking forward to this match because they were going to win either way, weren't they? Patrick say, congratulations lads. What else? Rotherham promoted. That's the important thing from today. Well, it was bloody dramatic in the end. Why is Michael, has Thomas Tuchel actually delegated the post-match press conference? I've never seen that from AI managers. I mean, he may have been sacked, but I don't know if that's... I wonder if Callum got one anyway, now I think about it. Did he play in one of the demolitions? No, he didn't. That was Yurchenko's only appearance in the Champions League. Batum's got one. Vidarsson on form, 1 assist. I mean, 24 years old. Vidarsson has... I'll say it right now. Vidarsson has been one of the biggest surprises in this series because we brought him in to play backup to Seri and Grimes because he could do both quite well, both Mezzala, and he's not competent, weirdly, as Mezzala, but he can do it quite well, and obviously DLP. That's what I love about Vidarsson and Barwick in particular, is Barwick does have perfect circles on both of them. Not only is Barwick club, he covers both perfectly. Just put a bid in for Christ's sake. We get 10 million for television, we get 11 million for ranking pool money, whatever that is, along with the 60 million for just straight up winning it. That's very profitable then. Had to pay out 12. Had to pay it straight back out again though. Passionate, chuffed to bits. Kind of unimpressed by the questions that got asked there. Not a lot of chance to go, we're bloody brilliant. Now, now that I can see the international friendlies in the immediate near future, just a reminder, the next episodes for this series are the Euros for England. With that in mind, Tuchel was actually sacked. That might be why Carrick did it. Yeah, with the fact that Euros are next, there won't be an episode on Friday tomorrow. There may not be an episode on Monday. It's just because I'm going to be busy all weekend. I will not be able to record. I will not be able to edit. I will not be able to do anything in regards to this series. So there definitely won't be one tomorrow. There may not be one on Monday, just because obviously the Euros could be more than one part. I will probably record it all in the same session, and I don't want to split it up across the weekend anyway. And then when it will be back for the Euros. And then what will be probably the final year, we've got the Club World Championship to deal with in the next season, and then we've got to defend literally everything. We've set the record for Champions League goals with 36. The record was previously, confusingly, Copenhagen, who presumably had to go through a lot of qualifiers. We've not had any of our end of season stuff yet, so that's why I'm still clicking through, which I expect is now. There it is. Players inducted to our overall best 11. Cantoro is inducted, but still can't usurp Lee Tao. Azata is also selected, but can't usurp either Courage or Rick, intriguingly. And none of the strikers usurp Lopez or Silva on the bench, of course. Don't think anyone's moved since we last looked. Obviously, the players we sold, but I don't think anyone has moved from the clubs that we last knew them to be at. Godoy player of the season, understandable actually this year. Seri second, Vidarsson third. I have to say, I mean, as much as we've had moments of Seri magic and Vidarsson obviously performed at that finale, I don't think we do talk about them enough. I bloody love Seri. Seri's going to be 30 in the next year. Like, he joined us quite a long while ago, realistically. Like, he's bang in the middle of his prime, is Seri. I'm so glad we're getting it. Fiore actually does get a signing of the season. We didn't make many, in fairness. I'm almost now disappointed by this Carabao Cup quarter-final loss to West Brom, even though at the time I just did not give a flying monkeys about it. It is a little bit of a blot in the end. That is a depressingly long list of people who aren't playing football anymore, I'm pretty certain. Oh yeah, Thor. That's something I mentioned. Of course, Euro's coming up next. Thor was in the Iceland squad with Vidarsson, which is a very weird situation. Because Thor, obviously not great, but he's got 52 caps for Iceland. I just love the fact that Thor and Vidarsson are in the same... Asgeir Christiansen, by the way, is the other one. The other really good Icelandic player. He's not valued at a lot. I mean, if we didn't have a really strong midfield, I would be tempted to try and get him in. He's got even more potential. He's 21. If we were able to lose any of our midfielders, particularly someone like Seri, let's say, I would not have any objections to having an entirely Icelandic midfield just for the fun of it. Expectations, yeah, whatever. End of next season, win Champions Cup, reach final. So their expectations are to win it. And that's acceptable, apparently, for the 10 players that actually were in that meeting. I think all the players have gone on their international duties. Gonzalez actually ended up with 7 goals in the Champions League. This is the Champions League dream team, where bizarrely we have everyone except the strikers, despite the fact one of our strikers was the second highest goal scorer. Work that one out, shall we? And, even more bizarrely, Godoy wins forward of the season for the Champions League. Azata is defender of the tournament as well. Azata and Rick either side of the injured Brian Irving. Says a lot about actually that absence, perhaps. So Gonzalez scored 6 and ends up second. Godoy is the forward of the season. Neither feature in the dream team. Work that one out. I think that's everything, actually. I think that is everything. Do we get a few more deals? It's not the end of the season yet, guys. What? I promised them contracts at the end of the year. It's now the end of the year, guys. Did you forget that we literally just did a Champions League final? Dear FM21, please, when you promise to give contracts at the end of the year, can the promise run till the actual end of the year? But there we have our performers for the entire year. Godoy, top of that list. Sorry, near the top of that. Jamie Harvey, of course, at Leipzig, the American. Not sure how he's still very good. We may bring him into the fold next year. I don't know what the striker situation is going to be next year, considering we've got players like Harvey and then we've got Dahl, of course, not on this list because he's too young. But Fabian Dahl, by the way, the guy we got from Derby, won the EFL Player of the Year. Yurchenko, Grimes, Vidarsson, Castillo, all in the top end of this. Castillo actually ends up at 7.27. Considering he was usurped by Kovalev at one point, Kovalev's performances took a nosedive towards the end of the season. Nosedive, I know you said there. He was never terrible, but he just went distinctly average. That's why he got usurped by Castillo in those last couple of games. Gonzalez quite high up. 18 starts, 18 goals. In fact, a marginally better goals per minute than Godoy. Jamie Harvey's goals per minute, by the way, 120 since we signed him in January. Don't know what it was before then. I think he weirdly played more after we sent him back on loan. Yeah, he played 5 times in the previous 2 years. In fact, he didn't even have a start in that year, 2030-31. He started 4 times in 31-32 before we signed him. And then he started 11 times after we loaned him back. How does that work? Jamie Harvey is incredibly confusing, his history there. But Ben Goffrey was really very good when he played and gets a Premier League medal for 5 starts as well. Comes back, gets a Premier League medal. That was the deal for Ben Goffrey. That's what we wanted for him. Welcome back to the club, my friend. I say that as if I actually know him. Cantoro, Ramirez, Azata, all very good. Azata weirdly actually quite low down this list. Saxton, I mean 7.22, but weirdly quite low down. Everyone pretty much has had a very good year. I mean, the goalkeeper's here on a 6.92 average. Not bad. 52 appearances, 21 clean sheets. It's not a massive amount when you think about it. Fidal is the most confusing player. 7.00 average. Form-wise, though. Form-wise, incredibly baffling. In the last 20 games, he played 3 games higher than a 6.7. If we just do the last 15 games, in fact, just the one higher than bang average, basically. And that was a match he came on for. Weirdly, he did better in games he came on for. He was substituted on in these 2 games and actually did okay in both of them. The games he started, absolutely woeful. No ideas up in there. Obviously, goals-wise, we kind of know the deal there. Godoy and Gonzalez at the top of that. Seri actually ended up with 14 goals and 14 assists. Like I say, quietly gets on with his job without ever really getting a massive amount of praise. He has his moments, of course, the moment of magic with the free kick that we had a couple of episodes ago, but kind of gets on with it. Same with Cantoro. He don't really get a lot of praise, but 13 goals, 16 assists. I think he was top of that by the end of the year. No, he wasn't. He was actually usurped by the end of the year, but 16 assists. Very, very good on that front. Ramirez on the other side, 12 and 9, not too bad. Vidal, 12 and 5. I'd like more assists from an attacking midfielder, but never mind. Vidalson with 11 assists, but 4 goals. Does play slightly deeper though. And realistically, I would like a little bit more from the fullbacks in terms of assists, but 5 from Fiore's not bad. Not good, but it's not bad either. Castillo had 8 assists though on the left-hand side with 4 from Kovalev. And 5 from Saxton, actually. Assists from left-backs. Picking up the slack possibly a little bit from Ramirez. Assist-wise, Ramirez 9 assists to 16 on the right. Meanwhile, the right-back actually, Xiaonan had 10 assists in 23 starts. Crazy, really. Considering that Fiore had 38 starts and assisted 5 times and is better going forward. Xiaonan's crossing, dribbling 11, 10, 11, 12 first touch. Passing 13. Fiore 15, 13, 17, 13 as well, actually, on the passing front, but so much better. How has that happened? Anyway, it would be incredibly neat to finish things here, obviously with a treble, but Euro's obviously next for us, and there is a Club World Championship for us to deal with in the next season, so we will deal with that, and we will try to defend all of those titles that we currently hold. One more year, one more year. Until then, ta-ra.